my family is from the East Coast. I love New York. I've been back there a bunch of times. Like, talk to me about New York.
New York is really like my bread and butter. It's all I've ever known. It's where I was born. It's where I was raised. I'm just kind of like a creature of multiple boroughs and multiple places of New York. I was raised mostly in Long Island, and then spent a lot of my formative years in Brooklyn and Manhattan. Where in the East Coast is your family from?
So mostly Jersey. Couple are up in New York, but Burlington and Trenton. Yeah, there's most of my childhood was visiting family in Trenton.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Trenton's like a tough neighborhood, though.
Yeah.
That's a rough place,
Yeah,
they don't mess around in there. Burlington I love, though, because Burlington is like such a small town. We play there a lot.
Oh, wow.
And what's really fun is that the airport is walking distance to a venue called Higher Ground that we play a lot. So I will literally fly into Burlington, land, walk out of the airport on 2 feet holding a guitar, and walk down one long country road to the venue and walk in and sound check.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like there's not many places you could do that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I'm also like a foodie. Everywhere I go, it's a win in Rome situation. I've got to eat the best food that I think I can find there. Anything recommendations for?
Well, it depends on what you're into. You know, I mean, it's like the thing about New York, food-wise and otherwise as well, is that there's the best thing for everything and for everyone. So if you're into ramen, if you're into Turkish food, if you're into Greek food, if you're into Chinese food, there's like, you're going to find an incredible spot dedicated to what you like. So it's like, what are you kind of into? What are your...
Well, my mom's full Italian, so I love anything Italian, of course. But I don't think there's anything I wouldn't try.
Yeah, I mean, I love like a lot of the divey Italian spots and less of the formal ones. You know, I also love like a lot of the, just like there's some just incredible pizza places in Brooklyn that I'm obsessed with. Paulie G's has 2 spots. They have a slice shop and they have a restaurant. Both are different and very good. And then if you want like really amazing but very hard to get into, you got to go to Lucali, which is more in South Brooklyn. They don't take reservations. You got to just kind of get there at 5 p.m.
Right.
And then just maybe they'll say, okay, you have a table at 10 p.m. You got to think of what to do for 5 hours. And maybe not. You know what I mean?
Wow, yeah.
But I'm the same way. Like I'm here in Phoenix today. And like I heard you guys got to get a great pizza place here, like Pizzeria Bianco or something.
Yep. So it's won a lot of awards. Definitely a great place. It's the same thing. You could walk up to that place and wait for hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a bummer to hear.
Yeah. But he, I believe, has roots back east. So he just brought it here. I hope I'm not misquoting his origins or anything. But yeah, it's supposed to be a fantastic place.
I think he's a New York guy and moved out here. And it's like people say some of the best pizzas now in Phoenix, which is
it's crazy.
It's cool,
right?
man. I got to try it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say, too, when you're in Arizona, we have some fantastic Mexican food. So you have to, and it's untainted. Like a lot of other parts of the country will add their own flavor. I feel like Arizona's about as authentic as Mexican food will get. So you got to go to the divey places too.
Yeah, I want to try it. What's tough for me is also when I'm on tour, I'm in like each city for one day.
Oh yeah.
So I have like one good meal in me for that. So I have to choose it wisely because I won't be back for a year and a half, you know?
Oh yeah. Plus you don't want to go too crazy. You go something too spicy.
No, before a show, that's like the worst possible thing you can imagine. Like I gotta always be kind of playing it a little careful, and that's why I'm not like burping on stage and scaring everybody in the front row.
That's just gonna add to the show.
Oh yeah.
I saw somewhere that you were in New York. You had gone. Oh, it was a little like documentary video, a little film that was made, which was great. I loved it when I was watching it. But you were just moved in this little warehouse where you were recording, and you were fearful that you were going to get kicked out. You still in that
No,
place?
we got kicked out immediately. I was in there for about 6 months. That's where I made my first record called A Real Good Person, Real Bad Place.
Nice.
And we were literally squatting in an abandoned radio station in Greenpoint, Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I just gave a guy like $200 a month, and he was like running this very weird and like illegitimate studio space that was like unimaginably disgusting. like really, really gross. It was just it was abandoned for like 20, 30 years. So there's just garbage everywhere, dust everywhere, like sinks ripped out of the wall and just like on the middle of the floor. And that's where I made an album, and that album really sounds like that, to be honest. You know, it sounds like somebody sitting in an abandoned radio station during COVID, losing their mind. So yeah.
Some of the most creative albums I feel like have come out of places like that.
Yeah, I think the environment is very influential.
Yeah.
On the product, on like the final result.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know which band it was, but hearing about them seeking out like supposedly haunted places to record.
Yeah, it's like it's fun because it just like changes your whole mindset. You know what I mean? Like I wake up in different places, I feel differently, especially creatively. You know, it's like the song I'm gonna write in Michigan in February is gonna be very different than the song I'm gonna write in Arizona in June. You know what I mean? Like. Sure. It's just going to be, you're physiologically different when you're being cooked or frozen. So like it's what's going to come out creatively is going to be different.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. It's like so much impact of everything around you, your surroundings, your current state of mind, everything influences what comes out of you. So I can totally see that. Yeah.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah. I also saw something that you had said, which it was just interesting to me. Was your first concert was the Chili Peppers? Because that was mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Chili crazy. Peppers and Queens of the Stone Age in Jones Beach, Long Island. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, mine was, it was, technically my parents brought me to Beach Boys when I was a kid. So that's
nice.
my first branching out. But yeah, it was like a grand awakening. You know, I think that first concert that you see is so important because it sways how you view music in general. And, you know, I can almost see at least one similarity in your music with Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Interesting.
And that's just the energy. It's the energy. And dude, you exude energy. You
do so thanks.
Well,
yeah, I mean, we go pretty nuts on stage, and there's so many reasons why. You could dissect that all day. But yeah, I mean, singing the Chili Peppers and like that era too, like early 2000s and sort of like the pop mainstream success they were having at the time, where it was this great combination of songs that were big and could fill amphitheaters and stadiums and arenas, but also like the integrity of the youth of like the band is still there as well. So it's like this amazing intersection of eras where it's like you have these pop mainstream hits, but you also have the band just going nuts and just being the band. And it's like, it's a very cool couple of years to have seen them in.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah, that's it was impactful for me too. So I can definitely see how that would just plant the seed.
Yeah, I was so naive at the time. Like I didn't even know what touring was. I didn't realize that they would do the show again in another city the next night. I had no idea. Like I was like, oh, they're going to Philadelphia tomorrow? I didn't even, why? Oh, that's what a tour is. You go. Like I didn't know.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. And that's kind of crazy that they endlessly, like the amount of energy it takes for one show is pretty high. And they're doing it night after night, just like you are.
Yeah, I mean, I was on, I got off stage in Albuquerque only like 12 hours ago, you know? So it's like, and now this is like the quiet time where I like recharge for tonight in Phoenix.
Yeah. And it's, probably why everybody speaks of, tours being so exhausting. It just takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, especially like a really long one. And if you don't have a lot of good off days built in, it could really get to you. You have to be in a very specific mindset to continue on at a certain level for that long.
Yeah. Adrenaline can only, you fire it up every night, but it can only take you so far, right?
Especially when you're headlining, like you can get through a 30-minute opening set no matter what, but to like really create a well-rounded, dynamic 90-minute show and give it your all, and you're on show 30 and you've had 3 off days, it could be tough.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of opening for, the Stones, I can't imagine when you do that. It's so big and it's so huge. At least briefly, you got to say to yourself afterward, what now? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so hot out of the gate. And, obviously afterward, you hit the studio and just knocked out great music. And that was your next step. But what was your reaction afterward of something that's so huge right out of the gate?
I think I knew that wasn't like normal. You know what I mean? Like that was very early in our career. And we went back to, next time we played Philadelphia, we played like 100 kids in a basement. Yeah. So it was kind of shocking, going from like 80,000 to 100. There's more people backstage at the show than were at the next show we played. And it's like, I knew that though. I didn't have any expectation like, oh, now I'm in a certain echelon. It's a weird and humbling experience because you kind of get to cosplay in somebody else's world and like live in a world that is like 50 years in the making, and you see kind of like where you can end up. So you get like a little glimpse of somebody else's universe for a little bit. You're like an alien visitor to that world, and it's very humbling, It's
Right.
exciting, but it's also humbling.
I bet. So speaking of tours, like, is there anything that just stands out as far as like a good story or anything that you've had on tour?
I mean, I'll go back to the Rolling Stones. Like, I've told this story a couple of times, but like we were opening for the Stones, and as I'm getting ready to run out on the stage, a stage manager comes up to me and he goes, "I want you to know, we have a special stage, and if it gets wet, it's more slippery than black ice." I'm like, okay, whatever. And I charge out there like I've been rehearsing my entire life, and I take one step on that stage and I fly into the air and I fall right on my ass. And and the whole like 80,000 people just went silent, And I look at the band and they're cracking up, and I just pop back up and we just rip it. It was like the most, again, very humbling
Right.
experience, and very Des Rocs too.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's a good metaphor for life, though. You get knocked down immediately. It's all about just getting up.
Always, especially as a musician, like it's nothing but getting knocked down.
Yeah.
Emotionally, physically, financially. Like you just got to keep powering through.
Yeah, so much so. 2 compliments I want to throw your way. So when I first started listening to you after I found out about you, normally what I'll do is I'll make like a playlist, right? Start listening, and I'll mentally make a note. Oh, this is a good one. I'll go back and and I'll usually find like 2 or 3 songs. Every song on the playlist was like, this is a banger. This is going in the
thank
list.
you.
The breadth and depth of your current, obviously it's going to get a lot bigger, but right now, like, you don't have filler songs. They're all good. So I wanted to throw that compliment your way.
Thank you.
The other one too is there's not many people from a vocal standpoint that have so much nuance and character in your vocals. The only person that I can think of is like Tori Amos. I don't know if you're familiar with her stuff.
Yeah.
Very nuanced character and how she, will articulate certain things. You're very similar. And I think that adds so much depth to vocals. So
thank you.
Compliment number 2. So good job. Keep that up.
Thanks.
Love it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my vocals are like, I don't have a poker face when it comes to my vocal. So, like, what I'm feeling when I'm singing it is very real, and it's hard for me to just put on like a stock vocal character and just do that without some underlying emotion influencing the sound that comes out.
Yeah. So when you write then, or when you're performing this, do you sort of try to put yourself in the mindset of that concept of song?
No, I mean, I just let it flow naturally. Like, I know what the song is about, and it's pouring out. And there's like a lens through which it pours out, and that ends up being like the vocal take, like that's the take that's the vocal styling that song required.
Yeah. And that makes sense. I mean, especially if you're doing, like, you've now written a song for movies, games, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have a different approach for when you're writing that sort of?
No, it's always similar. Just sometimes the North Star changes a little bit, If somebody wants a cover for a movie or something like that, which is, I've only done once, it's fun. But then I have this kind of like this brief to write to and create to, and it's just a slightly different experience, but it's all still very Des Rocky, and the way I create it is very manic and very fun, and very personal. And so it's really like the process is really the same no matter what, just sometimes that North Star shifts a little bit.
Yeah. And I'd imagine too, and I'm going to comment on the cover for the movie, but because cinematic writing is so, tug and intentionally place people in certain emotional sort of states and roller coasters, from the first act, second act, third act of the movie, there's intentional manipulation of the viewer's emotion. So I'd imagine, like, when you're writing, okay, this is my scene that I have to write for, and so this is the emotion I got to put the audience in. And I was just curious because it seemed like you nailed it.
Thanks.
Because the Ring of Fire being such a almost struggle kind of a song, the way Johnny Cash sings it, you put it in that scene as almost like, oh, I'm bringing the Ring of Fire to them, and I got a party hat on while I'm doing it. And like, man, he nailed that emotion.
Thanks.
Yeah,
it's just cool. Like, that's just artistic interpretation. Like, that's my interpretation of the song, is to make something really crazy and over the top.
Yeah.
And that's just the beauty of art, like how endlessly interpretable it is. It can just be construed and configured in so many different ways and mean so many different things to so many different people. And I love that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you nailed it, man.
Thank you.
You have released singles, EPs, albums, and there's seemingly no rhyme or reason, but do you have a philosophy behind it?
The EPs were just like, in the very beginning, that's just all I could really do. I didn't really have a lot of music, but I wanted to get started, but I don't think I had 10 songs yet, and like, all right, these are 5 I really stand behind. And then album, it's like, that's an art form in itself. I approach it like that. And then singles, there's a million reasons why a single would be a single, and sometimes like for a movie or something like that, or sometimes it's just for fun. It's like a fling, you know what I mean? If it's not going to be part of a greater body of work.
So what are you working on next? Is it? Do you have an idea? Is it going to be an EP or an album?
I have a whole album coming out this year.
Nice.
Yep, it's all done and dusted.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome. And no hints?
I can't say it yet, but
that's fair.
But this year.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So post-tour?
Yep, post-tour.
Nice. And you're going to Europe next, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the fall, we're heading to Europe, which I'm super excited about because we love playing Europe.
Oh, I bet.
The shows are crazy.
I'm jealous, man.
Have you been there much?
No, I have not. I want to get out there. Yeah.
The best.
Anything that stands out is like, I have got to do this when I'm back in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I'm in Bologna having tortellini, it's like Bologna in Italy is one of the best food cities ever. It's not a very popular tourist place for Americans. I get to go to places like Bologna on tour, and it's just like, it's a dream come true. Really is.
Nice.
If you haven't been to a Des Rocs show, make sure you get to one soon, because it's one of the most intense and highly emotional and personal and incredible rock and roll experiences you're ever going to have. We spend a tremendous amount of time working on these shows and making a set list, and then creating an experience that's very communal and almost like a sacred rock and roll ritual to us. So if you haven't been to a show yet, make sure you get to one. Okay, it's early in the day, so I'm going to try a kind of a chill song called Maybe I. Chill in its energy, but definitely not in its emotional content. Maybe there's a fever burning on the inside, waiting for the demons to come and make the tears dry. But I'm still begging for the pale sugar water. Eyes lazy for the truth. Am I still waiting like a lamb to the slaughter? Does your God believe in you? Oh, maybe I'm total wreck, draining my blood till there's nothing left. Maybe I won't repent, live a lie and let the vultures in. Maybe I ha-da-da-da-da, ha-da-da-da-da, ha-da-da-da-da-doo, ha-da-da-da-da, ha-da-da-da-da, ha-da-da-da-da-doo. Maybe there's a savior, a cowboy with the right mind, smoking from the razor, cutting just to feel nice. But I'm still begging for the pale sugar water, eyes lazy for the truth. Am I still waiting like a lamb to the slaughter. Does your God believe in you? Oh, maybe I'm a total wreck. Drain my blood till there's nothing left. Maybe I won't repent. Live a lie and let the vultures in. Maybe I da 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 da.